Lane. Okay?
Nice to meet you. Very,
okay. And here on the screen, we have the handsome and talented DJ Grant.
Yeah.
And so, jump into the Q&A. Let me give you a proper introduction. Okay, Grant Reed had a love of music at an early age from seeing a DJ on the back of a truck and decided that that was for him. Grant entered Olago University in the South Island, where he was brought up studying sound and audio engineering, graduating with honors. After qualifying, he moved to Auckland, New Zealand, New Zealand's biggest city, taking up employment with Radio Huragai, at the time New Zealand's most popular radio station. Plus, he was a DJ, live DJ at Auckland's top nightclubs at the time, while he was also spinning at Radio Huragai. Actually, there's more of a story to that, which I'll actually have to tell you. DJ Grant Reed has worked with many radio stations throughout his career, culminating in the extensive knowledge to create the internet station Galaxy 107 FM is today. Today, having an hourly global listenership of 5 million and a maximum of 11 million at www.galaxyfm.co.nz. Ladies and gentlemen, my new best friend, Mr.
Hello, brother man. It is an absolute pleasure to be with you. Thank you for having me with you.
It's fine. I hope that your picture starts to move again. We hear you great, but the internet connection is making for you. I have a static picture of you sitting at the desk, so they know what you look like. But now they can also hear your voice. Okay, so I wanted to just kind of set that up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions so you can unpack your story, right? And we're going to talk about how you were able to grow this station from a tiny corner of the globe into this global phenomenon, right? And then I'm going to open up the questions from the students. And I know some other students said they were going to come, so they'll probably come during our Q&A. Okay, so you good?
Absolutely. Fire ahead, my bro.
Okay, great. So I had the privilege of teaching a bunch of different classes here. I teach digital marketing. That was the first class I taught here at Musicians Institute. And then I actually wrote the 5 levels of marketing and social media for the associate's degree program. But along the way, I've had an opportunity to teach a number of other classes, including a networking class and a leadership class. And in the networking class, there's all kinds of rules about how to get ahead, if you would. I'd love you to tell us the story about how when the night the radio station, the DJ wasn't there, and how you created an opportunity for yourself.
Right. Well, basically, we were opened 4 years ago by a member of Parliament who graciously gave us a title, and we were, and let me get you straight right from the start, we're in a little town in between 3 major cities, which is Rotorua, Whakatane and Tauranga, with a population maybe of anything from 3,000 to 7,000 people here. So it's not a great big place, but the staff do come from the biggest city in Auckland, from Auckland down here with me. So everybody here is actually from a bigger city and knows how to do a lot of business. They've been handpicked. We put good people beside us with the common goal of making Galaxy 107 FM the best station in the world. How we came across this, and literally we were going to be paying a lot of money to be able to connect to the national grid through the triggers and everything like that. And there was a lot of back charges to pay with that as well, which basically we kind of didn't agree with, and we kind of thought, let's look at another way rather than going completely FM. And we were happy with, and I've got to admit, 300 people on FM in a local area. Unfortunately, the topography, FM doesn't go through hills, so it was limiting. So that's why we had to look at the national grid. thing was, we couldn't justify paying the exorbitant amounts of money to be able to follow through with that. So we looked at another option, and the option we came across was using the internet to its best value, and that was basically how we got our start as a global station. We were happy if people across the railway lines could hear us, to be quite honest. At the time, we were very, very fledgling. Monday nights, we started a thing called, there was a preloaded show where, as you know, students these days are going out getting preloaded and drinking less in the nightclubs, but they're still, you know, getting out there and having a quiet one before they do so. And so we started, yeah, well, we started to do a show called the Preloaded Show with that in mind, where, you know, students Monday night, hey, who's going to take any notice of them? And then we moved into a show called Skype Party Monday. Now, these were people, mostly of our friends and of staff that were sitting at home on a Monday night that wanted to keep the DJ company. So we kind of, let's be honest, we were all getting drunk. We were, and having a good time doing it. But there were more and more and more people wanting to get involved in this. So we're governed by a board of 12, and Monday nights they turn a blind eye to. And we have a staff of 12 as well. So basically we all have the same mind. We want to be good. We want to be able to show these bigger radio stations, not only in New Zealand but around the world, that there's a little place, it doesn't matter the topography of where you're at, you can actually achieve something special. So that's what our goals were. And we noticed how many people wanted to be involved with the Skype Party Monday thing, that we thought we would turn it around and use it where we could benefit from it one way or another. Now, how we did that was we started to look at indie artists.
Right.
Nobody in the world was doing what we could do. We could put that to our listeners around the world and bring not just any indie artists though. They had to be able to be good, and it had to get past the board of 12. Now, let me tell you this. Right now we get 30 to 50 bands a day get in touch with us, wanting us to promote them to our, anything from, right now we have 5 million, let me just get this right for you, 5,914 online listening to what we're doing, but not to us. It's what the radio station is putting out, if you know what I mean. This is private. But
Facebook
that's
Live.
an average hour, if you know what I mean. It fluctuates. It can go from 5 million to 7 million, sometimes 8 million, sometimes back down to 5 again. It really doesn't go under 5 anymore. And how that happened is all the indie artists that we were talking to, they were telling their friends and their fans. Their fans started following us. Before you know it, 2 friends were telling 2 friends. Now we have an average.
Now you have an I love it.
Yeah, we have an average of about 4 to 5 million guaranteed every hour. Now we've got a product that we can actually look at the bigger markets around the world and say, we can offer you this kind of listenership for your advertising.
And you know, Grant, it was all through
Right,
Facebook.
absolutely. Okay.
And literally thought out, this was all Barbara's idea.
Really?
It really was. As I say, you put good people next to you. Literally. Always have good people with you. Make good choices. Make good decisions. And sometimes even listen to the board if it's me.
So I love to hear, we literally just talked about the power of word of mouth marketing, of our marketing, of one person who you trust telling the next person, telling the next person. So they were able to go from 300 people, or the idea of 300 people being okay, to a minimum of 5 million through targeting the indie music sector and having the artists and the fans drive word of mouth about this station. So, where are some of the places that that you know that people are tuning in from?
Well, we literally are global, guys. We really, really are. We have places like Latvia. We have South Africa. We have Australia, even England, all the way up through Wales to Ireland. Believe me, we are everywhere. We have fans from all around the world. We were talking to a couple in Germany earlier on this morning. They were coming out of Hamburg, Germany, and were loving the show, but they were driving at the time on the Autobahn, so I was kind of concerned that they might be losing it. But at the same time, I mean, this week we're interviewing a guy who was born in Argentina and now lives in Finland, and they're listening to us, if you know what I mean. We have people from St. Petersburg in Russia listening. We are totally global. That's what it's all about, is to be able to have a product. And let me tell you something. My whole deal here is I've been on radio now for almost 37 years. And I've been to so many different radio stations that I have a collective knowledge of how they worked, if you know what I mean. So I took the best of that and brought it here to be able to start something that I thought maybe people really would appreciate. I give them many different shows every different night. There is never the same night. The breakfast show plays pop stuff for the kids going off to school here at the time, to be quite honest with you, and it's hugely successful. Then we have the old school stuff, which is playing right now, and that relates to people. So now, I hate to say this, but it relates to people our age, if you know what I mean. Now, my very first job in a radio station, now I got to let you know, I was looking at being a coal miner. I was born up to be a coal miner's son. My father was a shot fire in a coal mine. He used to blow stuff up, and I watched him die through coal dust in his lungs, and that scared the hell out of me. I said, that is never going to happen to me. So I moved to another town called Greymouth, just a few kilometres down the road, and got a job cleaning in a radio station. Literally, I was the gopher. Now,
I want to tell this story.
Now, the funny thing about it was, I was there for about 6 months, and the DJ, because I used to have to go there after school and do all of this, the DJ came down with appendicitis, leaving just me and him at that particular time in the radio station. I had to get him to the hospital, so I rang up the ambulance. They came up the stairs, took him away, leaving me by myself in this radio station. And being green as grass, thought there's one of two things I can do. I can either let it run out and run away, close the doors and face the music tomorrow, or give it a go. So I chose the second one. Strangely enough, my boss, being the production manager at the time as well, always sat down and listened to our station. He was having dinner with his sister, who came from Auckland, and her brand spanking new husband, having a honeymoon there. Nobody has a honeymoon in Greymouth. Nobody. It's unheard of. You just don't do it. But they did. And of course, subsequently, they came running into the station to find out what's going on. My boss was very upset and started swearing and using big words at me, where the other guy that was with him, which was now the brother-in-law, tapped him on the shoulder and said, let him go. Let him have a go. At least he's doing something for you. So I finished off that particular show, and at the end of that, this guy comes up to me and said to me, my name is Kevin Black. Would you be interested in going to university? I think you have something in you. Unbeknownst to me, this was the top jockey in the country. Had no idea. He offered to pay for my university, which I did 4 years of, learning all facets of radio and sound engineering. I actually have 27 letters behind my name now as well, almost a doctorate. Almost.
7 letters, okay.
I do, I really do. I've still to get Sir in front of it though.
Okay.
It's coming.
Sir,
It's coming.
breathe.
But yeah, he offered to pay for everything that I did at university. I went to Otago University, as long as I passed my grades. If I didn't pass, it was on me. I had to pay for it. And
Right.
I couldn't afford it, so yeah, I made sure that I passed with no less than a 98% pass.
So you were motivated to succeed.
Absolutely, but yet again, I loved what I was doing. You've got to like what you're doing, you know, so it was something that I always wanted to be, and it gave me a doorway to be able to get into what I wanted to be without me actually having to pay for it.
Right.
Just apply yourself.
That is so important. So to recap his story, he was like the intern at the radio station, and the DJ took sick with appendicitis. He ushered him to the hospital. They had a pre-tape show, and when he got back, he realized, oh, I can either let the station go dark, which is a no-no in radio, or I can just take over. And he sees this opportunity to launch his radio career by taking over a radio station. There was a situation where the owner of the radio station came in and wanted to let him have it, but the owner's brother-in-law was like, no, as a matter of fact, let him do his thing. And he turned around and sent him to college. Only because he had enough belief in himself and his abilities and wasn't scared to run the radio station. So there's a whole lot of lessons in there.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I'm thoroughly impressed.
And so now the day I passed at university, I got my degrees, was the day I also received a plane ticket to Auckland and an invitation to come to a radio station up there, which happened to be the guy who was my mentor, my funder. He had set up a job for me. And what I found out to be was the radio station of New Zealand.
That's extraordinary. But you know, when there's, like I said, there's so many lessons in there, from being in the right place at the right time, to putting your best foot forward, to, you know, taking risks, to obviously having somebody notice you and be willing to invest in you, and then the awesome payoff at the end for getting 98, was that A plus, right? Doing really well in school. The payoff on the other end was a job at the biggest radio station in the country. Okay, so here, I love your story. It's wonderful. So look, I'd like to let the students ask a couple of questions before we wrap. You guys got some questions for DJ Grant?
Oh, come on, Chloe, you're not that shy.
But he's you know, talk us about the music they play on the station.
So what kind of genres do you have in your music, or in your station?
Okay, let's start off with Monday nights. Now, this morning I interviewed...
Are you still doing the Skype get drunk with the preload, get drunk thing? Because I'll tune in for that.
Well, I tell you what, I'll bring it back just for you, Thornell. I really, really will. But no, Monday nights we actually play the music of the artists we interview. It is solely for those guys now. And believe me, this morning I spoke to a Josie Award winner this weekend, just last weekend. They had the Josie Awards, and she won 2 awards at the Josies. She's a 6-time Josie Award winner now. Her name is Michelle Lee. We've been following her since May, if you know what I mean. So we opened that one up on a Monday night for them. Tuesday nights is Blues Night.
Blues Night.
Blues Night. Love Blues Night. Absolutely love that. Wednesday night is a reggae night. Thursday night is a pops night for the young kids, for the students, everything like that you would hear on the top 40 over the last maybe year. We put all of that together. Friday night, would you believe, Thornell, and you're going to laugh at this one, is 12-inch night. Remember the stuff we used to go out partying to back in the nightclub days?
Standard remixes and stuff. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And subsequently too, I throw a few of my own mashups. And being an engineer, I like to have a tutu every now and again, or have a play. And I'm not too bad at it too, by the way. And I throw a few of those in.
Great. That's awesome.
Saturday night we have two forms. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon we get into a bit of rock, a bit more heavier stuff for when the football boys are coming home from the pub, if you know what I mean. Through into 8 o'clock at night when we have what is called the Hardwired show, which is metal, absolute metal. Love metal. You know what I mean? And
you and your motorcycle driving self.
Absolutely. And then on Sunday we have 16 hours of country music. So in there is basically a format.
Hours of country music on Sundays.
On Sundays, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning New Zealand time, and through until midnight. We have nothing but country.
None of the slow stuff.
But it's country rock. It's got a heartbeat. It's none of this where guys are singing into their whiskies about a broken relationship.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Very cool.
Or how they broke the tail end of their pickup truck or something like that. It is something that is really, really worth listening to. At the same time, Monday to Friday, we have the DJs on doing the breakfast show, and Thornell, you're familiar with that. And
yeah.
That's top. That's literally top 40, and again, it's the stuff the kids going to school today request, if you know what I mean. So we make sure that they're catered for.
And then we have our premieres at 11 a.m.
Are those requests coming in from local, or are they around the globe?
That's a good question, simply because we do cater for the locals, but we get a huge amount of people who love that sort of music. I think it's in the same age group, to be very, very honest with you, that are asking from all around the world. We have a receptionist that solely takes care of what's coming in for requests alone, and she's kept very, very busy. And we have a young lady that's a statistician that puts together what our top requests are for the week, so that we can actually, if we so chose, we can actually put a top 40 of our own together, out of our own artists that we've been interviewing over the last little while.
That's awesome. So do you do like a station chart? Do you do a Galaxy FM chart?
We can do. To be quite honest, we've been so busy just quietly that we have not. But at the same time, if you're on Facebook, check us out on Galaxy 107 FM artist page. You'll see a huge amount of information over there and what we do. And it is absolutely stunning. We don't only just interview artists, we do politicians, we do stuff that may be happening here in town. Like we have a huge circus coming to town on the 10th of October, and we've got a few of those people coming in for a chat, and we'll do that Facebook Live and keep it on YouTube as well. So it's trying to keep ahead of the market, if you know what I mean. So if you've got anything on Facebook, you know how long that lasts, right?
Right.
But if you want to keep it, how do you convert it?
I never even thought about that. I guess you have to rip it and download it.
Well, we have the technologies where we can convert Facebook stuff and put it on YouTube, and as you know, YouTube is there until the dinosaurs come back.
Right.
So it's a handy tool to have to be able to keep it for posterity's sake. Now, guys, let me tell you this. With 5 million people tuning into us on an hourly basis, doesn't mean to say that they're just going to hit the stream and that's good. They go looking through our webpage. And we try to make our webpage as practical as possible. We have a shout out from all the people that we interview It is very, very quick, but people get it. They do. As I said, Michelle Lee this morning, for instance. Hi, this is Michelle Lee. Thank you to DJ Grant and Galaxy 107 FM. People go and look to see who Michelle Lee is. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely.
And it's great marketing for those people. At the same time, while doing interviews, not always do I wear a staff shirt.
Right.
I get a lot of our artists to send me shirts.
I'm showing you your website. You got a picture here of I don't know whether it's Guns N' Roses, but you're wearing. It's got cards on it.
Yeah. Sorry, I was an engineer for Guns N' Roses. That was a staff shirt back in the day. And when I was doing this, I was being photographed for an award, and I didn't realise that I was actually being photographed for an award, and I had this old shirt on. So
no, it's awesome because this is what he does. He wears the band's T-shirt while they're being interviewed, so people will see it during the Facebook Live, and then they may even go and order the shirts. Yeah.
Exactly.
I just love how you've been so supportive of independent artists. Obviously, it was a means to an end, but it's really shown us that the independent artist sector is an underserved audience. And since you've taken a shine to them, you've provided a platform for independent artists around the world. We see, up in the last 5 years, 50% of all the Grammy Awards have actually been awarded to independent artists. So it's a sector that can't be ignored. And the fact that you made that strategic commitment to the independent sector really shows that it's good business.
Well, at the same time, Thornell, it's got to be good music. And we can define garage bands that are never going to go anywhere. And bands like you deal with, my friend, and I got to congratulate you for a number of people, especially Saida. Thank you so much for Saida Garrett. Mr. Withers, I love Emmanuel, I really, really do. And of course, let's not forget the Divine. We recognise what talent's about, and you have never let us down. May I say, neither has Clyde, to be very honest with you. But at the same time, we get so many bands that you need to make or draw the line somewhere and say, this is good, this is not good. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
Because at the end of the day, we're putting our brand and our name behind everything we do. We cannot blemish it by making mistakes. So we make sure that we do everything correctly. Now, as I say to you, 30 to 50 bands a day get in touch with us. We may, at the end of the day, after going through a board of 12 and arguments with Barbara and the production team going ongoing thing, you know what I mean? It comes down to maybe 3 bands that we will do an interview for. Now, those 3 bands now have the opportunity of having anything up to, like as on New Year's Eve, everybody wanted to party with us at 11 million people, which is our best night ever. But it opens up that platform for these indie bands to be able to have an opportunity that we feel they deserve.
Yeah, it's remarkable, and we're really, I got to tell you, I'm, as you know, a huge fan of what you're doing there. And I think when you interviewed me, you were at 2 million people. So now you're at 5 million, like consistently. That's just extraordinary. And I want to, because you want to speak to a class, I thought it was a great opportunity. We could certainly do this again. Every quarter we have new students. This is actually the last week of the quarter. They have exams next week. But if anybody has a question? No? Okay, you have been such an extraordinary guest. I want to thank you for joining us today at my open counseling session. I think I can see by the looks on the faces that you have left a very meaningful impression on these young people. And speaking on their behalf, I appreciate you.
May I say something? For your class, if you have an idea, take that chance. back yourself and put good people behind you.
Back yourself and put good people behind you. Yeah, I like that.
Absolutely. Always, always back yourself.
Yeah, you know, it's really funny. I had to understand that. I had to get to a point in my life where I understood that. I've always been candidly backing other people, and it wasn't until I decided to invest in my own self that things started to kind of blossom up. I would. So yeah, that's very good advice to lead us on.
Thank you.
So
thank you so
thank
much.
you so much.
I feel very humbled to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely, Thornell. Thank you so much. I've been very, very humbled to meet yourself and your class today.
Sure.
And guys, I know you're going to be a success if you just back yourself.
Back yourself. Thank you so much. And on that note, I'm going to let you go. We'll talk tomorrow. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you too.
Have a good day, Thornell.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
By the way.